Hi all, this is my first video run using the GoPro helmet mounted camera system. I got this a couple weeks ago, and I finally had a decent weather day here in central Bavaria to get out and give it a try. What you're seeing here is about 13 or 14 minutes of a ride I do whenever I can after work. It's about a 25-kilometer circuit ride that goes from my house in the town of Batzhausen out around some hills, through a couple other towns, and then back to the house. As you can see, I'm not riding a regular bicycle, I'm riding a recumbent bicycle. And for those of you that have not seen a recumbent, basically I'm sitting down, and obviously my legs are out front, pedaling out in front of me with the chain going up underneath me and then back to the rear wheel. It's a very comfortable way to ride. You're kind of leaning back a little bit, very relaxing. The good thing too, especially if you're filming with a helmet camera, is that your head is up and you're looking straight ahead, versus on a regular bicycle where you're kind of hunched over the handlebars. Now right here you can see I'm holding on to the handlebars, kind of sort of like a normal mountain bike rider would. There's two ways to work the handlebars on a recumbent. Just what you see right there, especially when I'm doing turns or working through towns or something. Or right there where I've dropped it back, I kind of swing it back. Now when it's up front, it works just like a regular bicycle, the way it turns the front wheel. When I swing it back the way it is right now, it's kind of like a tiller on a sailboat. It kind of swings to the left and right to control the front wheel. Also, you might notice that my hands are not holding on to the grip right here. It's pretty much a straight path. I'm just cruising right along. I just rest my forearms on the handlebar. It's a very relaxing way to ride. Now I shot this kind of later in the afternoon, so the sun's starting to get a little bit low, so I apologize with the glare in the video. When I get around to the back side of the circuit there, the sun will be kind of to my back behind me and to the left. Now this is the first little farming community I come to. I think there's about 3 or 4 farming families that live here. You'll see as I get through town and see more of the countryside, it's a very agricultural area that I live. Now most of the crops, there's some wheat, but most of the crops are feed corn, that type of stuff. The soil here is kind of average for growing things, so the best they can do is with corn. And later on in the year, when I shoot some more video, you'll see, especially here off to my left, corn stalks will be 10 feet high, and I'll be like riding right next to a canyon wall. Kept this piece of the video in here because I was getting ready to pass this fella. We're chugging pretty hard up a hill here. He was doing pretty good. I thought I'd get on by him, and then all of a sudden he decides to swing to the right and cut me off. Oh well, I'll just slow down and let him go. You can see he's pumping pretty hard. He and a friend of his up in front, they made it to the top of the hill just fine. Okay, here I've gotten over the top of the hill, and obviously it's just cruise glide time. What I decided to do for the video is not show you all the pumping and showing my knees and feet and everything going climbing up the hill. So don't think that every place I'm going is downhill all the time. I've got to pay for it somewhere in the route. Now the bike path you see here is, oh, I don't know, it ranges anywhere from 8 to 10 feet in width, and all over Europe, it's really something. All over Europe you have bike paths like this. You'll see people along the bike path either just walking, riding bicycles, rollerblading, out walking their dogs. It's really nice. This particular section here, the trees on the right are apple trees, so later on towards the end of the summer, the 10 million free apples for anybody who wants to stop and grab some. Now this is the this is the first, if you want to call it a major town that I come to. But here the bike path is kind of merged into the sidewalk as I enter the town, and this is one of the few spots I actually have to get off the path, check traffic, and then jump to the other side of the street. Here in Germany or most of Europe, the auto drivers are very cycle aware. So even riding the way I am right now along the street, it's really safe to get out and ride. There are so many people riding bicycles. Like I said, the drivers are very cycle aware. You'll see later on in the summer when I get down to some of the other rides I go, as I film, you'll see just hundreds, if not thousands, of other people out cycling on the paths. Now, once I get through town here, again, the bike path will start back up on the left side of the road. So, again, I'll just have to watch traffic, make a couple checks, and then jump to the other side of the road to get back onto the bike path. Now the bike path I'm on, that I've been riding and that you see in front of me here, it is asphalt. A lot of the bike paths obviously are asphalt like this that go between the towns. There are some other longer rides I go on, especially along the Danube River, where the bike path is probably a little bit wider than this, but it's a real hard-packed dirt or hard-packed gravel. It's almost asphalt or concrete by itself, as hard-packed as it is. I'm probably getting about 75% of the way done with the ride. I'm coming up to this traffic circle here, making a left, and then heading into the town of Subersdorf. Once I get through Subersdorf, again, I jump back on a country path that goes off out in the middle of nowhere, and then on to Batzhausen. Again, here's another section where I have to jump to the other side of the street and go with the flow, go with the traffic. Now, a lot of folks ask me about the difference between riding an upright bike and, or it's also called a diamond frame bike. The difference between riding a diamond frame bike and the recumbent does take a little bit of getting used to. The balance is a little bit different. You actually sit lower to the ground, and it probably took me a good, on this particular bicycle, it probably took me a month of riding quite a bit on the weekends to really get comfortable with riding this bike. But like I said, it's a very comfortable way to ride, and you can easily do, on a good day, I can get 100 to 120 kilometers and really feel pretty good about the whole ride. Now these towns, this town here is still Subersdorf, the town I live in, and that other town that I rode through. These towns have been around for several hundred years, and it's not uncommon to get into the towns and find homes that were built 300, 400, 500 years ago that are still owned by the same family of the original builders. It's really something to go just put your hand on the outside wall and think that this the house was built 300 or 400 years ago, a couple hundred years before the United States. Now here I'm on a little rougher bike path, still asphalt. Comes down here, and again you'll see the train line kind of in front of me. The BMW motor plant is about an hour away by train, and there's a lot of BMWs up there. So business for BMW looks pretty good. They're moving their cars. Also on the train lines here, almost 60% of all train lines in Europe are electrified. So even though that one train line you just saw runs about 150 yards from the back of our house, generally it's pretty quiet. It's not too noisy at all. Again, this is a path that goes out through the middle of some farmers' fields. Going by this Grange type of operation here on the left, and then straight ahead there on the in the distance is the town of Batzhausen. That's the town I live in. I'll come back over the overpass over the railroad line again. We got a short train that'll go up underneath of us, and then once I top out, I drop down into the town and hit the main street. It's pretty interesting. You'll see as I come to this T intersection, I have to turn left. Even though I live in a small town, we have quite a automobile dealership. And this guy had an auto dealership running, and then when the wall came down, he got the dealership set up in Eastern Europe, and did quite well. And obviously he's done quite well here too. But he's the one, not the one, but the big main industry for the town of Batzhausen. Again, this was just last Sunday, towards the end of March. We actually had our last big snow only about 2.5 weeks ago. We had to close some roads and things like that, and then it's really cleared up nice. Colors are starting to show, and everything's starting to blossom up pretty good. And right through the main street here through town, just as the old way, there's a Suzuki dealership on the left. They're having a little motorcycle display and outing. But just like in the old way, a lot of farmers have their farmhouse and barn and everything right along the main street there. Now I'm turning into the little development where I live. These are mostly newer homes, I'd say all built within the past 10 or 12 years or so. I would say there's probably about 20 homes here right now, and they could probably build another 15 or so. There's a couple that are under construction. I'm going to just head down this street and look to the right. And then house where I live is not that one, but coming up here on the left. I'll pull right in here. That's where I live. Well, the ride's over, but you get to see all the post-ride work also. To turn off the GPS and remember the ride and the distance and the time and everything. You can see my red flasher light there. You got to turn all that off. And then into the house. You can still have the camera mounted on top of my helmet. Ground into the garage. Yeah, nice good workout, but then you look for the automatic garage door opener. I love it. Yeah, we're the first ones to live in this house. We are renting the house, and it's a real super high-tech house. I'll do another video just to walk through. It's really interesting as far as how, I'll say, eco-friendly and efficient the house is set up.